All three of the XXL 2021 freshman Cyphers have been released. A couple days ago, I listed and ranked all the freestyles, and today I'm going to be ranking the Cyphers and who I think has the best and worst Cypher verses. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications for more, considering that only 2% of y'all who watch my videos are subscribed. Anyway, let's just get right on to it, and in my opinion, the worst Cypher by far is number 10, Coileray. No, you know what? No, switch this. Turn this shit off. Man, switch this music! Bro, I got so much to say about this Cypher verse. There we go. That's more like it. Okay, here we go. Coileray. What in the fuck was that? What were you doing in that Cypher? Everyone was doing perfectly fine. Meanwhile, you said absolutely nothing. Were you even trying? Bro, dude, I could do better than that. Bro, I would rather listen to Designer's Cypher. I'd rather listen to Kurt Cobain's Cypher. Bro, I would rather listen to Smoke Perp's freestyle. I would rather listen to Iggy's Cypher. You know, and I'm gonna say it. That was worse than Lil Mosey's Cypher. There, I said it. Cause that shit was fucking trash. And Moray tried to save you. No one could save you. You're supposed to show off your skills. Instead, you did some fight enemy shit. We all get money. My brother let me. Man, shut your ass up. And you had the audacity to say that you had the best Cypher verse. Man, get the fuck out of here. Alright, now that we got all of that out of the way, let's just move on. And at number 9, I got 42 Dog. Bro, that verse was literally shorter than him. I'm so sorry. But like, there's really nothing for me to say about it. Like, I mean, it's a little bit better than the freestyle, but it's still not good. I don't know, it's just one of those Cyphers that's like, it's just there, it just exists. That's it, there's really nothing else for me to say about it. So I'm just gonna move on. At number 8, we got Flo Milli. Flo Milli is the definition of overrated if we're talking about this freshman list. She is by far the most overrated person on this list because her freestyle was just okay, and her Cypher is just, it's just okay. Again, just like 42 Doug, there's not much for me to say. I will say she had a pretty good flow when she was talking about like, ain't nobody that's hotter than Millie, ain't nobody that's sicker than Flo or whatever it was. Like, that was a pretty good flow. But like the whole like punani in his face like in the beginning of it, just like why though? Again, there's not much for me to say. It's just an okay Cypher verse. It wasn't trash. I'm not gonna sit up here and say it's trash because it wasn't bad. It just wasn't good either. But some of y'all be overhyping Flo Milli's verse to shit. I've heard some people say that Flo Milli had the best Cypher verse out of everyone on this list, and that is so cap. Honestly, if Coileray wasn't on this list, Flo Milli probably would have been lower on this list. But you know, Coileray is fucking bum cheeks. I mean, for God's sakes, Ian Dior had a better Cypher verse and he didn't even fucking do one. Coileray, I'm sorry. I know I'm just roasting Koi, but I'm sorry, bro. You fucking trash. Man, get your ass out of my screen. At number 7, we got Pooh Shiesty. Now, I will say this. His Cypher verse was a lot better than his solo freestyle. It's still not great or anything, but it is better than I thought it was going to be, especially the second time listening to it. He actually had a couple of good lines. My favorite line in his Cypher verse is when he said, I can't beef with dudes rolling mid, I'm booked for rolling out. That was a bar. I will admit, that was a really good bar. And he had another good line or two here and there. But that's just really it. There was just a couple good lines. It was decent. It was better than I thought, but it was still, he is still in the lower half of this list. And number 6, we got Tootsie. I don't really know how to feel about this Cypher verse because there's nothing bad about it. I actually really liked. I liked how he had a concise. I actually really like how he kept a really consistent and concisive storytelling throughout the whole cipher, where he was talking about how he's fallen in love with a girl to the point where he would do like crazy shit for her. And that's really cool, but my problem is just it's not really that entertaining of a verse. Also because it's almost kind of boring at times, considering the fact that he repeats Miss Parker a lot at the end of his rhymes a lot. And that's the thing, like, he had, like, I believe he had, like, the longest cipher out of everyone. I would have preferred something, like, more short and sweet than just, like, overly long verse where after the end of it, you're just kind of, like, a little bit bored by the end. So, yeah. At number 5, I got Ruby Rose. Ruby Rose did way better than I thought she would. Especially since when I first saw her on the list, I thought she was going to have the worst one by far. Because I was thinking to myself, like, why is she on this list? But fuck me, she did pretty good. Now, granted, it wasn't the best one, hence why it's number 5. And I still think that some women like are overhyping it and overrating it a bit. The best part about her verse is easily like her flow in the second half, where she was low-key kind of chopping. And while her subject matter is pretty much the same as it was with Flo Milli, talking about, you know, like sex and how much of a bad bitch she is, the difference is that Ruby did it way better than Flo Milli. Ruby's was a lot more like, she had a very like calm tone to it, where it wasn't annoying like with Flo Milli and especially Coi Leray. And her group, she out of all people was the best one in her group, which is absolutely hilarious to me. But yeah, number 5 is Ruby Rose. And number 4, I got Blast, or Blux. His cipher verse was the definition of short and sweet. It didn't need to be that long, but it was still perfectly fine for what it was. His verse was the same topic like in the solo freestyle, where he's talking about like how he's on the come up, how he deserves all his blessings, and how he's gonna remain humble. And even though it's the exact same topic as his freestyle, he still does it in a really good way. You could definitely tell in his cipher verse that he has a lot of confidence in himself, and I like that. And even though the second group was probably the most boring one with him and Tootsie, he wrote that beat. He had a good flow, he sounded good, he sounded comfortable. He pretty much did everything he needed to do. When he first came on the list, I was thinking to myself, bro, who the fuck is Blast? But honestly, I'm low-key kind of impressed for what he's done. At number 3, I got Moray. And while yes, he didn't have the greatest lines out of everyone, especially that shit bar, because shit bars are shit. What really impressed me about him is that he actually did it off the dome freestyle in the Cypherverse. He even said at the beginning that he had something written down, but he wasn't going to say it. And even though it was off the dome, he actually did pretty damn well for off the dome freestyle in his Cypherverse. And he actually had a really good line where he said, "If I come outside the strip club, then I'm coming with the poles." Not only did he have the best personality out of everyone, but like he just had so much expressiveness and had so much power in his voice that I feel like that's what really set him above a lot of people. And he just seemed like he was having the most fun out of everyone. And that's what I think. He didn't take himself too seriously. He just did his shit. He just did his thing. And I really liked it. At number 2, I got DDG. I fuck with DDG's cipher a lot, especially since the fact that he rode that beat heavy. I just loved what he was talking about. He wasn't just having a cipher verse where he was just saying a bunch of lines. He had like 2 and 3 different subject matters and put them all into one cipher verse. He did his shit. And my favorite lines by far is when he said, "Life is short, but my clip is long like Jamaican hair." And the drama be following me on my mama, but I guess that's just the side effects of the commas. Oh my god, bro, that shit gave me the staying face. I had a feeling that going into it, judging by the Cypher trailer, that he was gonna have one of the best ones, just by the way he was in, just by his pocket, the pocket that he was in. I had a gut feeling that he was gonna have one of the best ones, and honestly, he did. And finally, at number 1, the best Cypher goes to Lakia. Lakia fucking snapped. You can tell that she's been in Cyphers before. It sounds like she's experienced in this shit. But man, like, where do I start? What I love about her Cypher verse is, for one, her flow was non-fucking stop. There wasn't hardly any filler at all. She went straight to the point. She had so many cold ass lines and bars that I can't even think of. Like, there's too many to think of. She was like, she had so much cockiness and confidence that you believe what she's saying. Like, you can tell, like, she has so much sauce in her delivery. But man, she, out of all the people in the freshman list, her and really surprised me the most. I wasn't expecting anything from Lakia. I thought she was just going to be another female rapper just talking about sex and shit. But man, she had the best performance to me.